Let me see. Where are you? Where are you? There you are. All right. So, as always, start off with daily dose of good. So, and listen, the next two slides, because there's only two slides on, there's 3 slides in total on this. The next 2 slides, this here, it's going to knock you over the head. All right. So, the reason why 1% of the population are way, way, way more successful than the rest is because they do what others don't have the will to do today. Right? Let me say it again. The reason why those 1%ers have acquired most of the wealth is because they do what others don't have the will to do today, so that you can do what others can't do tomorrow, right? And these next 2 slides, I want you to, if there's nothing else you pay attention to for the rest of this webinar, these next 2 slides are the slides you must pay attention to, all right? So, here we go. And by the way, welcome to the cooperative age. Co-op income or completion turns co-op income on. It is the master switch. You don't join co-op income, you complete it. If all you do is join co-op income, then you're going to start tomorrow the exact same way you started today. You're going to start next week the exact same way you started today. You see, these 3 steps is not an option. You have to do these 3 steps in co-op because it is the only way to wealth. And like I said, it's not something that you join. You see, completing the 3 steps, well, it activates the machine, right? Listen closely. It activates the machine. It turns on that switch. And until a person completes the 3 simple doable steps, well, guess what? Your co-op business is not alive. So all of you that are on here right now, and maybe, you've been around for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, maybe you even been around for 28 days and you lapsed. And now you're telling your friends, well, co-op doesn't work. Well, listen, it does work. It does work for 100% of the people, 100% of the time who complete the 3 simple doable steps. If you don't complete the 3 simple doable steps, well, life's going to remain the same for you. Now, what are those 3 simple doable steps? Because, most companies, they say they got the 3 steps. And after they tell you that you've got 3 steps, then they actually tell you, well, yeah, but you completed those 3 steps this week, but you have to do it again next week. And when you complete them next week, we lied to you about the income because next week you're only going to get 10% of what you got this week. You see, that's BS, right? These 3 steps that are not an option, you may only need to complete one time, right? One time. So think about this the same way you thought about a job. Most of us have had a job. Even I had a job for 3 months when I was 17. I hated it and found out that sucked. Never went back to that again. But most of us have had a job where, we've had somebody tell us what to do, right? And when they tell you what to do, it's not for your benefit. It's not so you can get a longer lunch. It's not so you can get more pay. It's so that they can get a raise, or they can get a new car, or they can buy that new mansion, or they can buy a yacht because you are doing it for them. You see, here in co-op, you're doing it for you. You're not doing it for me. You're not doing it for Bishop. You're not doing it for Kendra. You're doing it for you. So treat these 3 steps the same way you treated a job, all right? And listen, some people can complete these 3 steps literally in hours, right? Literally in hours. But let's give you the benefit of the doubt. And let's say this is your first time trying something new. So let's say that you're going to complete these 3 steps in 1 week. And by the way, folks, 1 week, you're going to have lots of breaks during this 1 week. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to think of co-op because it's your business, right? So I want you to think of co-op as your job. The only difference is that you're not working for somebody else. You're not building somebody else's wealth. You're setting yourself up for wealth. Will you be wealthy after you complete these 3 steps? No. But what you're doing is you're setting yourself up to become wealthy. So if you want more money than you have right now, you're going to complete these 3 steps. If you want to live differently than you have been living, you're going to complete these 3 steps. If you want to live debt-free, stress-free, and financially free, well, you're going to complete these 3 steps. If you are happy in the situation you're in right now, well, don't, right? And you can remain the same. But if you want something more out of life, if you want everything that life has to offer, and you understand, you see, because like one of those testimonies said, they read my book about perception. See, perception is everything, right? So when you understand that this is the road you must take to build that wealth, you will do it. And speaking about perception, one more thing just before I get to these 3 steps. You see, you can start for as little as $5. And here's a problem with a lot of people who start with $5, right? They mistakenly think it's a $5 business. Or if you start even at the sweet spot for $175, they mistakenly think that it's a $175 business. So if something goes wrong, well, no big deal. Dude, and listen close. It's not a $5 business. It is a multi-million-dollar annual income business. So treat this business as if you put in $1 million to get started. Because when I ask a person or people, if you put $1 million into a business, what would you do? Well, they said, first of all, I wouldn't sleep. They said, second of all, I wouldn't tell my spouse. They said, third of all, listen, if I've got to run across the city for a week naked, I'm going to do it, right? They'll do anything because they put $1 million into it. Well, check this out. This business can bring you many millions of dollars. So treat it like a multi-million-dollar company, a multi-million-dollar business, a multi-million-dollar wealth system that you're in charge of. And when you actually, flip that switch from thinking, this is just a $5 business, and you flip that switch to understanding that this is a multi-million-dollar business, the world is going to respond differently to you. So check it out, man. And by the way, every time I read these 3 steps, and you hear me say simple, doable steps, right? Every time I read these 3 steps, I literally get goosebumps. Because I know that for those of you that are completing these 3 steps, and there are many of you that are doing it, for those of you that are completing 3 steps, in a few weeks, a few months, your life is going to be in an unbelievable state. No longer will you be trying to figure out how you're going to pay your monthly bills. You're actually going to live your life on your terms. You're going to get up and do what you want. You're going to buy what you want. You're going to travel where you want. So if those are things that you want, you've got to complete step 1 to get started. And step 1 is to become. And by the way, each of these 3 steps, it's not just 3 simple, doable steps because it's a fancy thing to say. It does sound pretty cool. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But these 3 steps, they're actually scientific. There is a mathematical equation to them that makes sense for you to complete them. So step 1, right, is to become. Become a co-op income member for as little as $5. A sweet spot, $175. We have 6 levels for a total of $1,675. You get in where you fit in. So $5 is where you fit in, even if you have enough money to get into all the levels. But you say, I want to see how this works. At least get in at the $5, right? Because that activates your account. And as soon as your account is activated, it puts you into the paid cooperative. And once you're in the paid cooperative, well, guess what? You can start earning and receiving money. And if you've seen some of the other webinars, you know that we have 9 different ways that you can get paid. When I invite Kendra, well, guess what? I get paid. When I invite Addison, well, guess what? I get paid. When Kendra invites somebody, well, guess what? Kendra gets paid and I get paid. And when Kendra, that person that Kendra invites, when they do something, well, that person gets paid, Kendra gets paid, I get paid, right? So 6 people get paid every time something happens. So help from above, help from below. You got one-time contributions. You got residuals. You got residuals. We'll get to that. I'm not even going to go through those 9 things, right? So we're talking about become, build, and bond. So now you understand why you need to pay, because it puts you in and activates your account, right? Now you got to build, right? This is not a business that, you can come in and do absolutely nothing and expect to build wealth. It's not like that. And by the way, listen, there's never been a business out there where you can get in and do nothing and build wealth. Think about it. Listen, you guys have been looking for that business now for the last 15, 25 years. It hasn't worked. It won't work because, as Billy Preston said in the 70s, nothing from nothing, well, it leaves nothing, right? So you got to build your business. But we've made the building part easy. And by the way, most of you already know that co-op is a 3x6, right? It's 3 on your first level, 6 generations deep, 729 on your 4th level. Now, you've got stupid businesses out there, and I don't mind calling them stupid businesses because they are. They think you're stupid, right? So other companies have 3x3s as well, but they don't work. And there's a whole bunch of reasons why they don't work. Number one, they tell you, well, you got to, if you got 5 people on this, on your first leg, we don't have legs, but you got 5 people on your first leg, and you only got 3 people on your second leg, and you only got 1 person on your third leg, well, you're only getting paid from 1 person on each one of those levels. Dude, you did the work. You should be getting paid on all of them, right? So it's a 3x6, but it's not a trinary. It's not a binary. It's not a unilevel. It's not an Australian 1-up. It's not an Australian 2-up. It's not a 3x2. This one works. You got to build. And when you invite 3, check it out, man. See, everything is scientific. When you invite 3, your business is free. What? Let's take a step back. All right. So when you invite 3 people, your business is free. Does it get any better than that? No, right? So why do you want to build and why do you want to invite 3 people? Because it makes your business free. It covers your next subscription. And if you get 3 friends or anybody, 3 friends, 3 family, 3 people that you don't even like, doesn't matter. Get 3, yours is free. And it covers your next subscription. And guess what? You may have paid out of pocket to get in, but if you do that in your first 28 days, it's not coming out of your pocket anymore. It's coming out of your wallet. It covers your subscription. And you've completed step 2. So step 1, become a co-op income member. Step 2, invite 3 or more. And you're going to hear, I don't know whether we're going to talk about it today or not, but we got a little video that we're putting together. Listen, if you think that you're going to talk to 3 people and all 3 of those people are going to say yes and stay active, well, then you probably believe in the Easter Bunny, right? Because it's not going to happen like that. Life is not like that. So we're going to show you how to use the tools that are in the system to invite at least 20 people, right? And by the way, don't start thinking, oh no, now he's telling me I got to invite 20 people. You don't. we're just trying to help you to get to that goal. Because if you invite 20 people using the tools we've got back there, a whole bunch of crazy things are going to happen. And those whole bunch of crazy things that are going to happen, guess what? Each one of them benefit you. So if you invite 20 people, you can feel pretty confident that at least 3 of them are going to do what they say they're going to do. You might register 10, but at least 3 of them are going to do what they say that they want to do, right? So what's the next thing you want to do? Well, because you only need a few people, you don't need an army, right? So many people think, well, I just joined this new business called Coopincome. I need an army, and they start making this list of, 800 people, and they start buying leads, and they start setting up capture pages, and they go buy this, they go buy that, they do everything. And while they're setting up their leads, while they're setting up their capture pages, while they're doing all the things that they don't need to do, people with very limited experience like Kendra, well, they've invited 5 people, right? You don't need an army. And because you don't need an army, you see Kendra? And not just Kendra, all the people that are part of my direct team, I talk to them on a regular basis, sometimes every single day. Now, why am I doing that? Because I am bonding with them. You see, I want them to know that I am committed to Coopincome. I also want them to know that I am committed to their success, right? I don't need an army. Let me tell you something else. Let's say we've got 2 people here. This person says they're going to get 3 who have 3, and they're going to teach duplication. This dude is one of those so-called heavy hitters. And he says, I'm bringing in 1,000 people, and I'm going to bring in those 1,000 people this week. But because he's not bonding, all he's doing is building, those 1,000 people are left there to dangle. They don't know what to do. So those 1,000 people will never grow. But this one who gets 3 who have 3, this is going to change my life. And it's going to change their life. So bond with your team. Show them that you care. We have been in business now for we're in our 25th year right now. And there are people on this webinar that have been in business with me for all of those 25 years. They may have gone their separate way over here or separate way there. By the way, now, because this one has a predictable, ongoing passive income, no one's leaving. What? So listen, these people are going to be with you forever. Bond. Now, when you bond, listen, Kendra, how many times you have to do the 3 simple doable steps?
Just once, David.
Right. Can you tell them again, just in case they didn't hear you properly? How many times?
You do the 3 simple doable steps just once and you're done.
Once and you're done. What? Oh, the front door, David. Listen, one time. You don't have to keep doing it and repeating it and repeating it, repeating it, right? Become a Coopincome member. Doesn't matter if it's $5 or whatever it is. Become a Coopincome member. Bill, invite your 3 people within 28 days. That means that your subscription is paid for. So you don't have to reach into your pocket again. And if those people stay active, you will never have to reach into your pocket again to pay your subscription. And that can lead you to go from the 5 to the 20 to the 50 to the 100, the 500, the 1,000, starting at $5, right? So when you have your 3 years, it's free. Bond. Invite your teammates to do the exact same thing. You have to register, invite 3 or more, teach duplication. So check it out. You see, when you have 3 or more, who have 3 or more, if they stay active, you never, ever have to do anything again. And your income can keep growing. And if you've, bonded with your team properly, that income will not stop growing. And if that's all you do, in 2 months, 3 months down the road. Because remember, that's all you did. You only invited your 3 friends. You taught duplication. In a couple of months, you could be earning way more than enough money to cover your monthly expenses. You may have paid out all of your debt. And you're living your life like a champion. You're getting on a plane when you want. Your wife says, dear, I want a new house. You look at her and say, another one this week? Right? Because you have the ability to do what you want. We're not talking about a little bit of money. That video that I was talking about, I'm going to show you in a few minutes. We're not talking about a little bit of money. So do these 3 steps one time. It is the only way. Let me say it again. The only way to wealth in co-op is to complete those 3 simple, doable steps.